Is home staging overrated, or is it more important than ever in today's slow market? Apparently, 78% of my followers think it is more important than ever. But I'll dive into that today with a special guest. I'll also look at the Treb stats and take your questions as always right here, right now on Live at Lunch. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lambros Demos. And right off the top, as I mentioned, I have a special guest today. Her name is Michelle Finnamore, and I see her waiting here online. So I'm just going to invite her in. Just give me a second here. But before I do that, just a quick intro so everyone knows who Michelle is. She's an award-winning certified staging professional and has been working with real estate agents since 2007. Has staged over 5,000 homes. Hope that's correct. We'll ask her about that. And also, she's been featured on shows like HGTV, The Marilyn Dennis Show, and Top $1 Million Listing. But what I really like about Michelle is her attention to detail. We've worked together, and she and I work very similarly, making sure that everything is properly done. And that detail is very important, especially when it comes to staging. And her bedside manner as well is very, very important, because sometimes it can be quite challenging to convince these sellers to get rid of some stuff and declutter and things like that, because they don't know what they don't know. So anyways, without further ado, let's bring Michelle in. The real go-to girl is Michelle's handle. So you may want to follow her as well, because she's got some great ideas for staging, and she's got some great content out there as well. So just waiting for Michelle to come online. Hope everyone's enjoying the warm weather. All right. Okay, while we wait for Michelle to come online, also, I mentioned the Treb stats. So the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board has put out their latest stats for July. And there's been a slight uptick in some areas, and we'll get into that later. But just a cautionary note, there's nothing to be too concerned about. Not sure if Michelle is still there. Michelle, if you want to send me another request to join, that would be great. Oops, let me see what this is here. Request to join, accept. Oh, that was my bad. I didn't see that little dot there. Anyway, so nothing to get too excited about for the July numbers. I know it's been uptick in certain
There
areas.
we go.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Michelle. How
Sorry
you
about
doing?
that.
That's okay. I think that was my problem, my
Oh,
fault, because there's this tiny little red dot that comes up over a camera icon, and it's barely noticeable, So especially at my age, I can't notice tiny little things on the screen. So,
okay.
how you doing?
I'm doing great. Been a very busy last couple of weeks, and everybody's getting ready to list in September. This always happens in August. As soon as people
Mm-hmm.
get back from vacation, and they got to think about putting the kids in school, and then they want to list. So you're ready to go.
Yes, absolutely. So that's absolutely true. August is actually statistically the slowest month of the year. So if people were, disappointed a bit in the sales numbers, they're going to be even more disappointed when they see August numbers come out. But you're absolutely right. Once kids are back in school, people are back to work. Everything settles down a little bit, and they're back to the home searches and things like that. So. That's great. So you've been doing this since 2007, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, I was wrapping up a construction company, and I was wondering what I was going to do. And there was this show on TV from HGTV, which was a new thing back in 2007, and it was a lady in England doing staging. And I'm looking in the Canadian magazine. I happen to be browsing at the same time. There's her face, and she says, "If you're going to take a staging course, this is the only one in the whole world I recommend." And where was it? Right here in St. Catharines. So I phoned up right then, and I was in the course. That was Thursday. I was in the
Oh,
course on
wow.
Monday in
Oh.
business a week later. I knew how to run a business. I just didn't know about staging. So I learned, mentored
Hmm.
with people, uh, definitely learned from the very, very best right across North America. I attend conferences and things, and you're always picking up some new thing that improves your business and raises the level of the professional staging industry.
Fantastic. Wow. Sounds like it was meant to be.
It
The
was.
course was right there in your backyard.
I know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's great. So you knew how to run a business. Then you were interested, obviously, in whether it's not home design, but
No.
interiors, etc., like that. So what drew you to the staging aspect? Like, what did you have an interest in? Like home decorations, or like what exactly brought sparked your
Well,
interest about it?
I have interest in making money on property. So my father taught all of us kids, you buy the worst house on the nicest street, you fix it up yourself, and you sell it. And that's how you make free cash money in Canada because they don't tax you on your principal residence. So I
Mhm.
went, this just goes right into that. And so you are correct in that it's not design work. I do design things for people. I do style model homes and things like that. I style the people's houses once they get moved to their new place. I'll help them buy furniture and lighting, artwork. But staging is actually marketing and merchandising of a product for sale, which is the house. And so that's my first conversation with the homeowners when I get there is why are we doing this? Why do I have to do this? It sounds like a lot of work. And I'm going, yes, it is work, but there's a huge paycheck at the end of it with no tax taken off of it. So that's why we want to do this. This is your chance to, make that money. Now, whether they have kids going into university, they need money for that, or they're downsizing, this is their retirement fund, then it starts clicking with them what we're doing, that we're actually making their product, their home, look more attractive than the other ones that are listed. So when people are looking online at listing photos, it's something that, well, actually, they time the buyers looking on the listing photos. They say they're swiping left every 3 seconds, just like Instagram,
Mhm.
because we're trained now to do that. So you have 3 seconds to get their attention. They look at maybe 8, 10 pictures and they're on to the next listing if they don't like what they see. So that's why we use professional photographers. That's why we do what we do because we have to get their attention. They have to see it right away. What makes this place the right one for them to go look at?
Absolutely. That's an excellent point, actually, and I'm glad you brought it up because it's just very quick. It has to grab their attention right away, and if it doesn't, they're on to the next one. Not just the next photo, but the next listing probably. So
That's it.
your listing or your house for sale is going to be overlooked if the photos don't grab the attention of the buyer. Absolutely. So excellent point there. Because I think there is also kind of. A misunderstanding or a misnomer about staging out there. It is an umbrella term, but a lot of people, when they hear home staging, oh no, I have to swap out my furniture or I have to rent all this stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, sure, there's, that side of it, but staging does not necessarily mean all that, right? So it can be
That's
as simple as what's the simplest staging job you've ever done?
Okay, the simplest staging job I do is rearranging what they have. So I did 3 appointments yesterday.
Okay.
They all involved, okay, let's turn the dining room table this way instead of that way because it makes the room look bigger.
Yeah.
Now, when I was younger, I used to work with a photographer. So when I walk into a room, I'm looking around like the camera does, and I'm trying to see how do we show them how spacious this room is? Is there an attractive chandelier? Whatever it might be. Okay, it might be a view out a window. So that's what I'm looking for. So we moved a sofa away from a fireplace because when they take the picture, fully 50% of the picture was the back of the sofa. So no, we got to put the sofa here or here to let the view go through to the fireplace. So things like that, I'm always looking at it that way. Once we do a few things like that, the homeowners it starts clicking with them going, oh, I see the difference now. And then I get, oh, I wish I had met you 10 years ago. So it's, and that's when I say, well, we'll do the new place together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
There you go. Yeah.
so that's what it's all about. And it's, I always explain to them, it's not about me or them at all. And they do start nodding and going when I say they're swiping left every 3 seconds. They go, yeah, I do that too. And I'm going, see, that's how important it is. And the thing is that it's always about the photographer. That's why we're doing this. What shot is he going to be able to capture? So, house I was at yesterday, they had a spiral staircase, like curved staircase,
Mm.
sorry, a spiral.
Yeah.
And so I let them come up with me to the top floor, and I said, "Now look down and see how you can see down all 3 floors." I said, "That's a shot." Because not all houses have that. So that will be a shot that the photographer will get. So I do explain to them a few things like that so that not everywhere throughout the house, but that it starts clicking with them. Why are we doing this? This is why we're doing this because we're trying to show the buyers quickly why this is the house they want to put on their must-see list.
100%. Yeah. So, again, you brought up some great points there. Two key takeaways as well. Make the room look bigger. So that's a key point right now, especially in this market. I mean, houses are unaffordable. People need as much space as possible. So you want to show off the space that you have, right? And the other thing is need to have an eye for the camera and knowing what the camera is going to see, because the camera picks up absolutely everything and then some, right? So if there's a little, toy here or there, you may not see it as you're, decorating the room or whatever, but the camera's going to pick it up and it's going to stand out on the camera, like in the photo, right? So that's
That's
why
right.
it's so important to get rid of all the unnecessary stuff, right?
Yes, we call it editing in photography. So we edit it down. So if
Yeah.
anything appears to be a stop sign, like you're making the eye stop there, why? Are we
Ah,
selling them that? So say in a bathroom, this is what I say, is that we take up all the rugs so we can see the floor. Oh, why do we have to do that? Well, because we're not selling them rugs. We're selling them the tile floor. So you
hmm
got to think like that. Show them what you want them to see. When I was going through in their basement, I could see on top of some bookshelves, there was just a little thing peeking over the top, but it was bright red, and that's what you
right.
see. And red is a stop sign, so you don't make the eye
Yeah,
stop on that. So we took that down right away as we were passing through.
that's right.
So I leave them a booklet that goes room by room. There are common things to a lot of houses, so I just check those things off, but I always write in all the particulars. Yesterday involved two of the houses involved me drawing floor plans for them so they could move furniture around after I left
All right.
because it was heavier. So that's what I do in that case is that I don't leave them wondering. And then the key thing I say to them is that anywhere up to listing photo day, they can text me a picture and say, "Hi, Michelle, it's me from this address. Is this what you meant?" You do not have to be anxious about things. You can go on and do something else and just wait till I get back to you about that particular picture. Because if I'm with somebody else, I won't pick up the call, right? But definitely, I'm there. And some people send me 54 photos, and other people send me zero. So
Right.
it's whatever works for them, and if they feel comfortable. And I do offer a service also to go back before listing photos are taken, and that's fine if they want to do it that way. But definitely, I do lots of video calls too, so they'll just walk me through and they go, "What do you think of this room now?" That's fine. So that's a service that I offer, and the agents love it because I'm making sure that they are on track and following things step by step.
So just to be clear, this service that you offer, is it yourself or somebody going to the house to help them move everything around and declutter? Is that like a hands-on service?
It's a hands-on service, so
Okay.
I do some of it, but the heavier work, I have two fellows that I send in, and they work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for me.
hmm
Basically, they go in and what did you order a bin in? Is there stuff to be tossed into a bin? Do you need stuff moved to your garage or the basement? Do you need it taken to a donation place? Get your tax receipt for donations. It's really difficult to sell things on Facebook Marketplace. A, they're busy enough doing the things around the house, but B,
Right.
sometimes things just don't sell. So you don't want to have that frustration and that anxiety. So there's different ways of going about it. And in the back of my booklet, I have several contacts there for them to use. And so that things get taken care of
Perfect.
quickly.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's fantastic because, like you said, not all sellers are capable of moving stuff around themselves,
That's
or don't have anybody that they can rely on to do it for them, right? So that's fantastic to know, and a great add-on to your service, 100%. So, um, but uh, like, what is the real like impact of staging? We talked about how it shows better in photos, but the bottom line is, does it really get the seller more money for their house? Especially in a slow market like this, where the buyers have all the advantages already. People are familiar with staging processes. They know, oh, this looks staged, blah blah blah. So, what is the impact in today's market that staging can do?
Okay, so I stage vacant homes, but I do probably 80% of my business is occupied. So
Mm,
when you say it looks staged, yes, it looks neater and pulled together. There's good flow, but it doesn't look fake. So that's what I'm known for is my creativity. I'm always keeping my eyes open about what we can do because staging is psychological. You're trying to connect with the buyer. So do they have sports hats? Do they have a mug from Cuba or Costa Rica or someplace like that? That goes out with the coffee machine. You don't know if the buyer's just been there or has happy memories of there. I have people because I've been doing it 18 years, they'll tell me when I meet them at the next house, I remember the first time I came in here, I saw and I bought the house. So I have quite a few stories like that. So that's why we do what we do. We definitely thin things out. So say like closets and that, we only want well, we want one finger between each hanger. We want at least 25% open space, and we color block the clothes right away. That makes everything look neater, more organized. So people who have OCD love that. I had a lady in Bradford say to me, "Did you stage 30, Patricia?" And I said, "Yes." And she says, "Because everything you're telling me I saw, and I bought the house." So you see how intricate it is, right?
Yes.
And so as an agent, you probably heard this before. Somebody will tell you they want a bungalow, but they buy a two-story because the
That's
house
right.
spoke to them. So people like me, okay, I do renovations and things, so I just buy the lot and where it is, and I know I'm going to change things. But the average person isn't doing that, right? So you have to appeal to them in some way, and that's what the psychology of staging does. It gets the house to speak to that person, and they do say that they do the yearly. Stats and that, and the most recent ones for North America came out, and they say you make between 8 and 23% more on your house if it's staged correctly. So
Yes.
that's a big improvement. Now there are people right now, they're not old enough to have lived through, like maybe you and I have, these other turns in the economy, and that you can't list it for what you thought you were going to get for it 2 years ago. It just isn't going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So you do your research, you give them the price points of where you think it's going to land, and then you decide on a price, and then we do our staging work to make sure that it appeals to the most people. And then there you are, you get your
Yeah.
house sold. And
Yeah.
that's what I explain to people too, is that it's very uncomfortable to have strangers coming through your home. You do not want this going on for months and months and months. You want it to be sold.
Good. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad you brought that point up as well because sometimes it's not just the dollar factor, but also
Mhm.
the time factor.
Mhm.
Like we talked about before, in a slow market, a lot of houses are getting overlooked. There's many choices out there for home buyers. They're just going to keep, flipping or scrolling through the ones they want. Sometimes they're going to go see the place, sometimes they're not. But you want to make sure that as a seller, that they come to see your place because it needs to be attractive, right? So it is critically important in a slow market that homes are,
Yeah.
are staged for sure.
So, and how we achieve this too is that we create value in every square foot of the house.
Mm,
So, if there's a desk in a bedroom and a nightstand, good, because now you showed a place to work. Okay, you've shown a place to study, whatever, a place to game, plus a place to sleep. We try and create exercise rooms or yoga rooms, yoga spot. Some houses have like a little window up the top of the hallway, and there's a little space there in the balcony. So we might make that the place where they do yoga in the morning. They wouldn't have thought of that on their own, but if they do yoga, they're going, okay, this is cool. I like this. And look at the view out the window. And that's what I'm always looking for is the view, right?
mm.
And taking advantage of it. So, of course, we always make sure, if they can, take the screens out because that allows 10% more light to come in a home. You can put them back in after if you want to. Make sure you label them which windows they go on. Open all draperies. If they're older draperies, yes, we do ask for them to come down, and I have guys that will go up 18 feet and do that. So it's there's nothing that we can't accomplish as a team. Like we'll make it work.
Awesome. That sounds great. Do you have any success stories? Like maybe there was a doubter or somebody that wasn't really convinced about staging, and then they saw the results after you were done.
Oh, that's a lot of people. The most recent one was just off of Tottenham Road, south of Tottenham.
Hmm.
They followed every suggestion we made. Okay, it was a country property, larger lot, fully treed, matured forest place with a driveway that curved in and everything. Even the agents were blown away. It sold in 3 weeks. They got top dollar for it. That's the best one I've got. And she just cannot stop sending me messages saying how I can't, like, I believed you, but now I really believe you.
You've made a friend for life. Yeah.
Yes. And she just keeps telling everybody, just do what did she do? She wrote something particular. If you're selling, you need Michelle. Just hire her.
That's
Just do
right.
it. Do everything she
Exactly.
says.
Need to
Yeah,
sell? Call Michelle, right? So
that's
there you
right.
go. You can
Yeah.
steal that one. You can keep that
Oh,
one.
there you go. And that's what we do. And that's what I explained. Like we had a client this week that was getting a little anxious about things. And so I stopped, right? Take your time, right? And talk about it and just say, like don't think about the whole house. You're thinking about this. I
Mm,
have 10 minutes. I'll do
yeah.
this. Okay, do it calmly, and then go do something else, even if it's just go for a walk, and you'll get there. You will. And then they started asking me when photography day is, and I said, well, that's entirely between you and the agent. That's not my day to pick. That's something that works for you. And if you don't think you're going to be ready a couple of days in advance, don't get anxious. Just phone up your agent, say, I think we need to like delay this another day, 2 days, whatever it is that's in your mind, and that they want you to be ready. They don't want you to go to market not ready.
Awesome, awesome. Any like funny moments or behind the scenes stuff that you can
Oh
share with
yeah.
us that's happened?
And more so happens on de-staging day. So
Okay,
we were, because I go all over, right? Wherever the agents go, I go. So like I have to go to Huntsville on Sunday or Saturday, which is a hike. It's 2.5 hours.
right.
I offer video consultations, but if they want me in person, I am there. I am there to serve the agents. So off I go. But we were up in near Horseshoe Valley, and we were de-staging the house, and we had done a yoga room, and I'd taken a yoga ball and weights, a mat, things like that. So we have the big truck for the furniture, and then we have my Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I it's like a Tetris, right? Everything fits in there to
That's
stage
right.
a whole house. It's
I love it.
amazing how it all
Yeah,
works, artwork, everything.
yeah.
And my assistant Pina comes out to the door as I'm getting like into the truck, and I'm going, okay, we're ready to go, right? And she holds up the yoga ball like this, and she goes, and I stole right for the truck. So we laugh and giggle about that still
Oh
to
no.
this day.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, you have to pull the pin and let the air out, eh? But she just she knew the truck was rammed, right? So yes, we do have fun while we're working,
Yeah, yeah.
and we always find a way. So
You
yeah.
gotta have fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you got to
I
keep
love
your
it.
cool, right? And so,
Yes.
like, sometimes things don't go right. So, on a delivery, we've asked for a queen bed and headboard. They sent a double headboard. So, the guys let me know. So, I phone up the owner and I go, hey, Sam, can you bring out a queen headboard because we got the wrong size here? Okay, thank you. And he shoves it in his vehicle and he drives it up wherever we are. So, the homeowners never know any of this stuff because they
Yeah,
don't need to know, right? They just it's
exactly.
something that we take care of for professionals every step of the way. White glove
100%.
service.
Absolutely. Yeah, they need to know basis, right? So for sure. Absolutely. That's fantastic. So where can people find you, Michelle? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
All right. So best way is call or text 416-928-2999. They can
Hmm.
find me on Instagram under at the real go to girl because that's what my license plate says is go to girl. I was given that nickname by agents many years ago. If you have a question, just ask her. She knows everybody and she'll get somebody there to help you, whatever you need to know. Other than that, on Facebook, it's Michelle Finnamore Interiors. And yeah, that's typically people generally text me. That's generally the most common way that people get a hold of me. But definitely, it's something that we do go wherever the agents go.
Hmm.
My basis is GTA and
Okay.
north to Barrie, Alliston, Tottenham, that whole area,
Wow.
Newmarket, Bradford. So it is a wide area. But like I say, I'm doing 2 and 3 consults a day, and then we book in our staging jobs from there.
Right. That's quite the drive from St. Catharines for you. You still
Uh,
in St. Catharines?
no, I'm not in St. Catharines. No, I was thinking of
Oh,
moving there, but I'm actually still in the, if you know where Canada's Wonderland is, near the Woodbridge
yep.
area there.
Nirvana, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Richmond Hill area. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
But
that's,
do you, how far south do you go? Do you go as far as St. Catharines, Niagara?
I actually did a house there not long ago. Yes, I
Okay.
did. Yeah, the
Okay.
agent called me and off I went. But it's something where typically, no, most of my work I'm going to say is north of Highway 9. And why is
Okay.
that? And you may know this answer already, is because that's where people are moving to because the houses are cheaper. That's what it is. And they
Yes,
get
yes,
more
good point.
house for the
Yes,
same dollars. And
yes.
I actually lived up there in Barrie and Elkona for 22 years. So my kids went to school there, skied there, everything. So I know all that area very, very well. Our construction company, we used to run gas lines into new construction sites. So I know Southern Ontario everywhere, right? From,
Nice.
whether it's Milton, whatever, right? Mississauga.
Right.
And that's how I get around. And it doesn't, um, put me off to have to drive. It's just it has to be planned for. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming online with me
Sure.
today, Michelle. I really appreciate this
Okay.
and such great information that you shared. If anybody has any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out to Michelle or reach out to me as well.
Thanks.
We can get you connected. No worries. I know you're limited on time, Michelle. So thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day,
Thank
and
you.
we'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye for now.
Okay, ciao. All right. So that was great. That was fantastic. Lots of great information there, as I said. And Michelle's wonderful to work with. I worked with her before. So if you are a real estate agent, by all means, feel free to reach out to Michelle. She does a wonderful job staging, and like I said, she's very good with the clients, very good with the sellers, and great bedside manner. So she's wonderful to work with, and sellers as well. If you need to reach out to her for, maybe you're not selling your house, maybe you just want to, maybe you just moved into your house, and want to have an idea of how to plan things, make it look nicer, make it look bigger. By all means, she's available for that as well. So, moving on. So, as I mentioned off the top, the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, TREB, has released their stats for July. And, in some circles, people are saying, oh, the market's picking up a little bit, but don't get too excited, right? It's not, it's just a blip. The market's not turning around. We're still in a slump, so to speak. And this month is likely going to be worse. I mentioned it to Michelle as well. August is traditionally the slowest statistical month of the year. So expect sales to slow down again this month. Typically, things pick up after September, so it will be interesting to see what happens after Labor Day this year if the market does in fact pick up. A lot of it will depend on interest rates as well, because some people are sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to come down. We've had a few interest rate cuts this year, but the last three, I believe, last two or three, it's been flat. The Bank of Canada has not made any changes to their interest rate. They're also in a wait and see period as well, because they want to see what the economy is going to do. It has shown signs of resiliency, but at the same time, they're just waiting and see, and they're going to react to whatever needs to be done down the road. So, having said all that, at a glance, we're going to take a look at the prices that came down. Don't want to do that. Hand gestures for Instagram. That's funny. Things are happening here. So, very quickly, prices have come down year over year. I don't like to look at prices month over month. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that. But year over year, home prices have come down 5.5%. So keep that in mind. So if you're a seller and you think you're going to get even last year's numbers, never mind 2021 numbers or 2022 numbers, but even like 2024 numbers, it's not going to happen because they have come down on average 5.5%. And that's not even blaming the condos. I know everyone's talking about how condos are not moving, not selling, and prices have come down dramatically for condos. But year over year, freehold properties have outperformed condo properties. So the price drop is greatly affected by the freehold properties as well. So we can't blame condos for that 5.5% average price drop. Looking at the sales and the active, the demand is the sales, and the supply is the actives available. So the inventory right now in Toronto, interestingly enough. Demand has come down, but supply has come down slightly more. So supply came down 7%, whereas demand came down about 5%. So that's what I'm saying. Some people are looking at that and saying, "Oh, the market's tightening." Well, not really. It's just a blip. It's just 1 month, and it could be because prices have come down significantly. Interest rates are still low as well, so people are taking advantage of that. So if this continues as a trend, then by all means we can say that the market is turning around. Same story in Mississauga. We saw demand come down 3.8%, but supply only came down 3.3%. So it's very geographically, important as well to look where, because it's the opposite of Toronto. Because Toronto supply came down slightly more than demand, but in Mississauga, demand came down more than supply. In Brampton, demand came down much more than supply, and Brampton always goes to the extremes. I've mentioned this before. If things are going well, then Brampton is doing really well. If things are going bad, then Brampton is leading the pack down. So in Brampton, supply came down 1%, but demand came down a whopping 8%. And this is month over month. And in Oakville, same story. Demand came down 12%, and supply came down 8%. But Oakville is a much smaller sample size, so we have to take that with a grain of salt as well. So basically, in a nutshell, sales activity dropped everywhere except Mississauga, it seems like. Um, Oh, did I say it came down? Yeah, it actually went up because I'm seeing here it went 528 in July, in June, and it went up to 548 in July. So my bad. Actually went up slightly. Sales activity or demand went up slightly in Mississauga, but again, nothing to get too excited about. Nothing to get too say this is not proof that the market has turned around because this has to be a trend month over month. What else we got here? So home prices have softened all across the board. I mentioned that already, and buyers are certainly taking advantage of lower prices. And this is a great time to do that as well. Not only do we have lower prices, we have lower interest rates, and we have much more inventory, so much more choice for buyers. So this is the time to get out there because don't forget, this is not going to last forever, right? The strong market didn't last forever. The down market's not going to last forever. The real estate market goes in cycles, right? So at some point in time, things are going to turn around. So if you're a buyer, you want to take advantage of this time right now because you basically have all the cards at this point in time. And that's it. So if you have any questions, by all means, I'm happy to take them now. Or if you are watching this on the replay, by all means, you can still ask your question and I'll get to it as soon as I can. If you'd rather send me a DM, by all means, I can answer it as well. But when you ask a question, especially when I'm live and others see it, I'm sure other people have the same question as you do, so I'm happy to answer it while I'm live, or at least in the comments after we're done here. So, without further ado, I don't see any other questions. So, wishing everybody a fantastic day. Thanks again for joining me, and see you next time.